Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna get these sides, front, and the bottom made tonight for this cabinet. I want to get it standing back up. I have the pieces that I cut off here, so we need to measure the height of it from here to here, because this is the actual bottom of the cabinet, and that's how bad it was rotted off. So if you look, lost probably a good inch by the time it made it to the back. That's just from being sat in water or something, and it just rotted away. So we have to hold this one up. We're gonna do the left side first. Oops, dropped my pencil, probably broke the lead. Trying to zoom in a little bit more. A lot of people want to see a little bit closer up view of things. Just makes it a little bit harder for me to move around and you guys be able to see what I'm doing, but we'll make it work. So this one goes here, and I gotta leave a little bit of a saw mark gap right here, okay? So you wanna leave about an 1/8 inch at most, 1/16 to an 1/8 inch, because obviously you took that piece of wood away with your saw blade. So we need to make a new piece here. Looks like 1/16 over 5 1/4. So let's come over here to the saw. 1/16 more over 5 1/4. I gotta grab my glasses. I always like to double check with my tape measure, even though the saw has a guide right here. I always double check. Right there is good. Okay, now I need to measure the height here. Oh, I almost went to the wrong side. Okay, so I'm gonna do a straight cut first. Plus I need to make sure that this looks good. Looks pretty good to me. All right, so I need to, I'm just gonna make a straight cut right here with the miter box, because it's definitely not cut straight. It's 28.5 inches deep. Now when you mark your 28.5, okay, make sure you mark it to the left of it so that you're on the heavy side, and just barely take the line off with the saw. And that should give you a real accurate cut to where you need to be. Okay. So this should be good for here. I do have a staple hanging out I need to pull out. So now what I need to do is I gotta make a groove. Tongue and groove for the tongue of the front to go into, and for the back. The back is actually a full 3/4 inch, I believe. So we got to make that cut, and then we need to make a groove like this. There and there. Okay? So, in theory, that should be 3/8 of an inch. And that's what it is exactly. Because it's going to be half of 3/4, because they made the tongue half of the thickness of the 3/4 inch plywood. So now we need to only take this in. They only have it coming in 1/4 inch. You guys are gonna get dizzy from me moving the tripod around so much. Oh shoot. So when you're making these kind of cuts, you have to take out this little guy here. Now we're going to go 3/4 of an inch. We're going to come up 3/4, then we're going to go down to 3/8. So we have our back cut here, okay, and we have our groove here. That fits beautifully. So this side is ready for the biscuit joiner. So we're going to leave this off. Now we measure this side. As you can see, this is ripped in half, but we can still use it as our template. Once again, make sure you leave between a 1/16 and an 1/8. And we're going to need a piece that is just over 6 1/4 for this side. These two are now garbage. 6 1/4, just over. I'm not going to use this. Blade is dying, or my battery is dying. I'm going to put a check mark right here. That lets me know that this is a good cut. This will be the cut that goes against the fence when we make the piece for the front. So now we need to make another side piece that is, I believe it was 28 1/2. Yep, 28 1/2. So I noticed on this piece of plywood that, look right here, we have a void. See that? On both sides. Look at how far down that one comes. So we don't obviously want to use that part of it. So we're going to cut a straight line off of here and then measure 28 1/2 up. So you can see we cut off the void, so now we have nice solid plywood. So we're going to do the same thing we did to the other side. We got to make those grooves. Stupid fly on my head. These run on, this table saw runs on 60 volt, 9 amp hour batteries. I'm going 1/16 intervals. So every 16th I set the fence and I run a blade through. Okay, see if this side fits. Got a piece of wood stuck in here, it looks like. Maybe. Do I? No, should be all right. Oh, I do. Yeah, I got a piece of broken wood right here. Perfect. That side even fits better than that side. It's a little tighter on this side. I'm going to mark my biscuit marks now. Now we need to make a front piece. But we can, in all reality, we can do the two sides first, because the front piece we could slide. So let's do that. Let's get this two side biscuit jointed up. So I made pencil marks that go on both pieces, and that's where my biscuit joiner lines up at. So I'm gonna go grab that. I'm gonna have to move that one over a little bit, the first one, because my biscuit joiner's hitting that. I don't know that I have enough biscuits. Need 5 per side. One side, oh, I got enough. Just gonna make it. Okay, now we're gonna glue it. We're gonna glue all the biscuits. I'm gonna put glue on this, back here, and down on top of these biscuits, and the rest of the way down. Couple little staples. Oops. Darn it. Thought I was over enough. Same thing again. You could buy a biscuit joiner and the biscuits at Harbor Freight. You don't have to have an expensive one. When I was growing up, that's all you could buy was expensive tools. They didn't have cheap tools back then. Okay, now, oh shit, that's okay. Normally the bottom of the cabinet had a groove, but that's fine. I'm not worried about it. So now we have to make this front piece. Normally there'll be a tongue on each side of the bottom, but not a big deal because we're putting those braces back in there anyways. It'll hold just fine. Most of the cabinets don't even have those grooves. Let's see how crooked this is. 3 7/8. 4 inch, 1/8 inch crooked. Now that's probably my cut is crooked. 3 7/8 to 4 inches. So I got to cut this at a little bit of an angle on the saw. Now, we have to cut this to the right length. So this, we have to account for the tongue on each side. So we need a total width of 25 inches. So 25 inches, and then we got to cut a tongue. Twenty-four and a half. gotta make this groove a little bit deeper. Or a little bit less, not as deep. So you gotta raise the blade up a tiny bit. Okay, I gotta make 2 little slots here that only come about 3/4 of an inch down. Just gonna do that on the miter box, I think. I could get a router out, but it's not worth it. See if that's enough. Beautiful. Look at that. All right, so we're a little long on this side. Oh, I got it upside down. Shit. That means I have to recut those 2 slots. Okay, no big deal. Those will get hidden with the bottom anyways. Screwed up. I forgot that that was cut crooked. And I screwed up here. I got a little extra cut here. I'll fill it in with Bondo. I don't think I need to make a new piece for that. Bondo will fill it in just fine. Everybody makes mistakes, guys. Luckily, my mistakes are easily correctable. All right. That's much better. Look at that, perfect. So now we can mark our biscuits. The more I'm thinking about it, I'm probably better off that I did not put the grooves going in here, because putting the bottom in would have been a real pain in the ass. Still could have done it, but it would have been a little bit more tedious. So, it goes this way. Got 4 of them. I'm actually going to go grab my brad gun. Be generous with the glue, guys. Got my finish gun. That'll shoot even a longer nail. Okay, that's pretty solid there. Now we're going to put the bottom in. $24.5. 23 5/8. If you're wondering why I cut it twice the other way, my saw will not go 24.5 inches wide. It'll go 24 1/4. Okay, it's gonna fit good. Actually, it's just going to bottom out on those. Now, I'm only putting glue on those two and that for now, because when we make those angle blocks inside, those get glued. Two and 3/4 plus a quarter, say 3 inches. So we're going to draw a line up 3 inches, and that's my nailing line. Same thing on the other side. Okay. Now we have to make 2-inch blocks to hold the leg levelers. This doesn't have to be exact. Now I'm going to get comments. You can't use a rip fence and your hand on the piece of wood. Yes, you can if you do it properly. When I'm pushing it through, I'm putting my pressure on this side here, and I'm just using this hand to just kind of hold on to it so it doesn't go flinging back at me. You can totally do it. You just saw me do it 8 times in a row. That's just kind of like a fear thing. A lot of people get scared and they, you know what I mean? They're affected by that. Now, I gotta see where the blocks were originally. So originally the blocks were all the way out to the edges. Okay. So I gotta throw that wood away. So we're gonna use a stapler for the first one, because the stapler only has 1-inch staples in it right now. Now, you can only staple around the perimeter, okay? Don't put staples in the middle. You gotta drill a hole through the blocks. I guess these could have been a little bit bigger, but totally fine. So now this is our third layer of plywood. So we have 3/4 and 3/4, it's 1.5 inches, plus another 3/4, which is 2 1/4, and I have 2-inch nails in my nail gun. All right, I have to go get leg levelers. Thought I brought some out here, but I don't think I did. All right, leg leveler time. And then we got to router these, and we'll be able to stand the cabinet up. I want to put some staples through the back side of that, and then I got to replace that top piece, and then I'm done with the wood repair on this. I am eyeballing this because I'm usually pretty good about getting it in the center. Now you don't have to drill all the way through the blocks. Jeez. Okay, now I got a router. Wipe my excess glue off. Look at that, guys. It's back on its feet. Literally. I'm debating if I take this piece out because it might cause a bunch more damage, or if I just sand it and Bondo it. I'm thinking about sanding it and Bondoing it. I think that's going to be the smarter bet. I'm going to grab a piece of wood so we can make some of those angle blocks. Oh, I need to staple this in down here real quick. Cut a couple blocks so we can make 45-degree brackets. Braces, whatever you want to call them. Need a block of wood. Those are a little on the big side, but I'd rather have a little bit extra support, to be honest with you. the staples are only going to hold until the glue is dry. I mean, they're going to hold, but their only really thing is they're just holding it until the glue dries, I should say. The more I looked at that earlier, it's not as bad as I originally thought. We'll be able to sand that thing down and put a little bit of short strand fiberglass and then a little bit of Bondo. Nobody will ever know. I've taken those apart before and they got a bunch of grooves in them and stuff, and it's just going to be a real pain in the ass. Okay. You know what I should do is fix this where they cut this out. Cut it there too. That I can Bondo in. Right here I need to put a piece of wood. That looks like it's about a 3/4 by 3/4 piece of plywood. So we'll just cut a strip of plywood and fill it in. Now the bottom, they cut this little bottom piece out. You know what? I think some of this was supposed to be a finger hole actually to get the glass out. I mean, they clearly cut some of it. I just don't know how far. I'll just leave that for now. When I get a chance, I'll look at mine. All right, guys. I think this is part 5. Not sure. But we have a Robotron cabinet that is now sturdy. No more rot. And we're ready to start the bodywork on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the closer shots of what I was doing helps a little bit more. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We're going to start doing bodywork to it. Probably won't get a ton done tomorrow night, but we're going to definitely get jumping on it because I want to have this thing ready for paint, hopefully by the weekend. And then I want to get Sinistar cabinet in here and get that thing ready for paint as well. I'll probably, I don't know, maybe I won't paint this yet. I'll just get it all bodyworked and ready for paint and let it sit for a little bit and dry, and we'll get Sinistar in here, get it to the same point that this one is at, and then we'll paint Robotron, and then we'll come back and we'll paint Sinistar. And then I just got to do touch-ups on the Centipede, and then these 3 games will be ready to go as long as I get my multi-William board. So thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, I'll see you guys later.